All right. I think we are live, live and direct. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to wait a little bit for the live stream to populate. Something I really have to be, doing is that I have to always, announce my live sessions on the community sessions on YouTube. I don't tend to do that. And because of that, perhaps some of my fans, you out there, you beautiful fans, beautiful people that have been supporting this channel for a very, very long time, you guys do not tend to see when I am going live. And this is something I'm going to be changing in the next few days, before I go live. The problem is actually sometimes I tend to go live very, very spontaneously. I'm just sitting here in the warehouse. I went to the post office. I came back. I did some cleanup. My kids were also here helping me to clean up. And I felt like before I go home, I need to actually, you know, just go live, talk to somebody, help somebody try to answer a question because there is not going to be an end to answering questions. This is one of the pillars of this channel. If I see somebody that's trying to do what I want to do and in any way I can actually help or guide you, I am going to do it. And yes, going live is one of the best way I can quickly knock out, some of the things I need to say that does not require me to make a dedicated video and, you know what I mean, editing it, trying to make sure that I have a very perfect environment to make the video. But right now, I'm still in the warehouse. Going live is pretty much easy. I do not need to overthink the process. I do not need to, check out perhaps my lighting, what it looks like. If I make mistakes, like, I stumble on words and I bump on words, I'm just going to leave it there because this is a live session. It's supposed to be just me and you, rubbing minds, catching up, me trying to show you what I've done or what I'm currently doing on eBay, flipping PCs until I'm able to buy a house. This was a goal I set for myself, and this is what it's going to be, because I'm working towards it. Every day, I'm actually waking up here, to make sure I do the things that I have to do until I get to that goal. I am becoming that person that is able to, flip pieces until I buy a house. Yes, I am posting offers. I am, replying to customers. In between, I am making content. And also, I'm trying to, give you guys some insights because I run there's a fly on my lights and it's kind of funny. I run a lot of tests on this channel, and not only on this channel, on my eBay shop. As a matter of fact, I just did some few tests, and one of them did, work out very, very well. All right. If you are joining the live chat, I want to know where you guys are watching from. I'm right here with my laptop, so I can pretty much, chat with you guys today. I'm just going to send something, share some love with you guys, and then, if anybody comes up and you have a question, free to drop the comment in the chat. I'm just going to write something here. Hello all, I am live to answer your questions. All right, I'm going to be answering your questions, and if I also, of course, I have gotten some few things to also, tell you guys, to share with you guys some of the things I've sold. I don't remember the last time I did this, but I remember I did make a video, just reeling through all the items that sold in about a week or so. I don't know where I stopped, and I think I actually have to prepare for this, next time. Wherever I stop, I have to continue from there the next time. I would have loved to, make this and share you all the, share with you the what you call it, the images or the screenshots of the sales, but because it's a live session and I'm still trying to get used to the YouTube, whatever you call it, the YouTube, text platform for going live. I do not know how to share my screen at the moment. It's not like I cannot actually figure it out, but if I take a look at some of the things, some of the features on this YouTube desktop, I keep seeing that you don't have access to this feature. You don't have access to this feature. Perhaps I need to go live for an X amount of time for this feature to be unlocked for me, which is to enable me share my screen, because I would also like to, play some videos, because sometimes when I'm in the warehouse, I'm just, recording stuff while I am working, because sometimes it's very hard to be working, also talking and talk to make sense, So sometimes I let the camera roll, I get some footages. If I'm in a live session like this is something I would have loved to do, which is to, share the images with you guys, share the videos or share the clips, and talk a little bit about how the day went. Today was a very beautiful day. I won't lie. It was very, very successful. I was able to ship out, in any case, I'm just going to start from where I felt like I stopped. I'm not so sure where it is, but I'm going to go back all the way to the 3rd of September, and try to see, just give you guys some info of the things that sold and for how much they sold. And if there was any story behind the item, we are also going to do it. I'm not going to be staying here for like forever. I'm just going to see if anybody is going to pop up. And if nobody pops up, yes, we're going to talk about the things that sold. And definitely we can call it a day. Of course, tomorrow is another day. But then if you are watching the replay, do not hesitate to write me, leave me a comment or ask me any question that might be bothering you, or a question that will kind of throw more light if you decide to say use computers, use laptops, use desktop on eBay. Feel free, to ask me these questions. This is one of the first time I'm actually doing this, because I was making video for so long and I realized that, look, you are just making videos. The audience, they are not being carried along in terms of, helping them to overcome the hurdles that they would possibly have if they want to, start doing this business, which is selling used computers on eBay or any other website. And one way for me to get direct feedback from you guys is if I can get to chat with you, one-on-one, like on this kind of live session. Somebody pops in, tells me, hey, I'm watching from perhaps the UK. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm passing through, or this is what I want to do. Could you please share some light? I will be able to actually, know the direction on which to, even take my content. But until that happens, I'm going to just be here, waiting for you guys to pop up. If I do like 10, 20 minutes and nobody is here, it's fine. Tomorrow's another day. But then if you are watching the replay, like I said, feel free to, to drop me a comment or whatever. Anyway, that being said, I'm just going to go back, and I feel like this is a good point to start on the 3rd of September. Dell Optiplex 5080. This is a Tower PC, or this was a Tower PC that sold for 294 euros. Very decent price. Beautiful transaction. This was one PC that was very, very easy to ship out, because the PC in itself is not so bulky. It's a typical, micro tower PC, not the traditional tower like the workstations. So this one was kind of easy, and yes, the PC has since been delivered on the 3rd of September. So today is 11th. I pretty much think that the buyer is highly, highly satisfied, even though, the buyer didn't come here to leave a review. This is something that happens because not everybody would actually leave you a review. Some people are just comfortable, they are just okay with receiving the PC, and then if everything works, everything is cool. But when things don't work, definitely they are going to come and try to, give you a review. I'm taking a look at eBay now to see if this PC is still on sale. Of course, people still have this PC. I don't have it for now. And I pretty much sold the one piece I had. And yes, mine sold, like I said, for 294. But I see that this PC is still very much active. I think I really had a very good offer. There are not so many towers of this PC. I see somebody selling for 262. The small form factor PCs are actually a lot. And I want to imagine that, yes, people even have this PC as expensive as 494 euros. This is crazy. But for that price, I pretty much think that whoever would have bought mine, had a very, very good day. I see one here from one of the people that also sell in my category. I don't want to call them competitors. I just refer to them as, partners in progress. Because to be honest, selling used PCs on eBay, wherever platform, is a very major service. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of effort. Just look at it now. It's about 20 28, just say 20:30 in the evening. I'm still here in the warehouse, and tomorrow is another day. There's going to be transactions of all types. Things are going to be, popping up. Things sometimes you do not expect them, but this is the thing. If things pop up that was unexpected, of course, this is the reason why we are entrepreneurs, to solve whatever, wants to crop up. All right. So these people, when I see people selling the same category like myself, especially selling the same items, I just call them partners because I know the headache, what they might be passing through. And come think of it, the market is actually big enough for everybody. If there are 200 sellers today coming to this category to sell, today eBay has a very decent system of distributing this traffic and making sure that everybody has a share of the cake. All right. So that did sell, and I'm happy with the transaction. A HP Elite desk, I don't know. I keep calling this everything HP Elite desk. It's kind of an automatic, setting on in my head that each time I see a HP, the next thing I want to say is HP Elite desk. No, this was a HP EliteBook 840 G5 keyboard. See, I have been selling these keyboards. I don't know as at now. I think I must have deleted the original offer. Yes, I sold like 6. In total, I still have a lot of them. I just have to go ahead and renew the offer, perhaps tomorrow, because before I actually renew it, I always have to check that the keyboard is actually working. I just don't want to sell. Even though I know the keyboard should normally be in very good working conditions, I still want to check them to be sure that I can actually, minimize the incidence of having a return. All right. So the HP EliteBook 840 G5 keyboard sold 26 euros 90 cents, and then a projector, an Epson EB1776W Wi-Fi, beamer. Sometimes we call it projector. We also call it beamer. It's pretty much the same thing. This sold for 69 euros. This was actually a test because I did list this item again, and this time around I needed to, put it up to 99 euros because the test I did was just to enable me. My voice already breaking. I need to get a cup of water so that I do not lose my voice in the process. People that do live streams for like 2 hours, how do you guys actually do it? It's kind of a lot, to keep talking for 2 hours. Some people do live streams 3 hours. I'm just like, what? All right. So this beamer did sell. You see, the same beamer, somebody here is selling it for 345 euros. It's kind of a shame that I still cannot, share my screen. And I'm just struggling not to subscribe to a streaming service like, StreamYard or stuff like that, because I know with StreamYard, I should normally be able to share my screen with you guys. But guys, bear with me. This is just something that's going to be sorted out as soon as possible. All right. This beamer right here that I sold for 69 euros was a very decent, Wi-Fi beamer. Somebody here is selling it for 345, even though nobody has bought it yet, but it will definitely sell because it's a very powerful beamer. This is a wireless a beamer that has a VLAN connection, and even has a pilot, a remote control if you like, and it's Epson. And when it comes to beamer projector, this is one household name. I do not know if this company is still producing this thing, but projectors, as it were, are used, far and wide. They are used in homes, they are used in offices, in schools, so people would definitely come around and buy. So when I sold mine for, 69 euros, I listed another one, which I now placed at 99 euros just to see. It hasn't sold, but hopefully this is going to sell any moment from now. I still have a lot of them. I still have in total like 9 pieces. So definitely this is something that we are going to still be rocking for a very, very long time. A HP EliteBook 840 G5 keyboard also sold, 26,090. And then a Samsung NVMe SSD 256 gigabytes, also sold for 16 euro 90 cents. These are things that I didn't really spend money buying them because, one beautiful thing is that if you sell PCs, you're going to be having a situation where you are going to be having a lot of hardwares. Over the years, man, I've got a lot of hard drives. I just cannot even count how many hard drives I have. NVMe SSDs, SATA SSDs, they keep flying around. And most times when I get them and I feel like I do not need them, or when I see that they are getting like a lot, I just go ahead, list a lot of them, and they tend to sell like wildfire. Sell like wildfire, especially if you have the Samsung NVMe SSD. I can tell you for free that sells very well. Dell Optiplex 5060 Tower PC. This was a beautiful transaction. I'm not going to lie. It sold for 376 euros. This is one beautiful transaction. And when I see high value transactions like this, first of all, I want to do my best to ensure that the buyers are highly, highly satisfied. You see, this PC has since been delivered since on the 6th. Of course, once again, no feedback, no review. But of course, I imagine that the buyer is satisfied because this PC was actually one PC that was very, very clean for a used PC. It was in one of the best conditions, and PCs like this sometimes they may be hard to get, but sometimes because we buy PCs a lot from different suppliers, and over the years, the supplier kind of knows the kind of taste. I want to give the best I can to my buyers, because I understand that when people start to roll at this price range, 376 euros, they do not want anything that's going to offend them. They want a PC that's going to be in excellent condition, and eBay, being who they are, they are also trying to push this refurbished program thing. And right now, if I click on the offer has been deleted, but I'm just going to take a look at the original. You see, yes, there's a crest on my offer that says refurbished. When people see this crest, they expect nothing less than very good quality. Quality, not only the technical aspect of the PC, but also the optical condition. In this case, is also very, very important. Then a Lenovo ThinkCentre M710, PC. So I still have some few pieces of this PC, like 3 or 4. I'm just trying to take a look. Go to the search and see what is going on with this PC right now. Of course, I see people selling this PC, different prices, different seller. Of course, my offer is also there. And yes, people are buying it. I won't lie. I think right now I've sold already like 2, and I still have like 4 left. This is one very good PC, small form factor PC, quiet, Lenovo. It is a ThinkCentre. And if you are used to desktop PCs, you can pretty much tell that the Lenovo ThinkCentres are one very decent PC. Business PCs, they are very quiet, and they do their job without making, any drama. Yes, when I say drama, I can tell you that there are some PCs that do make drama. Starting up might be a problem. All sort of peeping sound, all sorts of, high revolutions from the fans. But the Lenovo ThinkCentres, they are, just uniquely built that they are so quiet, and I really love them. And the Fujitsu Esprimo PCs, sometimes I also have this kind of good experience. In fact, the major PCs, I'm not just going to single out one brand now and say this one is, better than the other. They are just beautiful in their own different right. Then a HP 120 watt adapter also sold for €16.90. Man, I think I have like 100 pieces of this. I don't know when I'm going to finish selling this. I've been selling this for a long time. I've sold 24 pieces already, but I'm not really pushing it because I know that these things are just things that you throw in your shop, and they tend to sell, over time. Then this was a good Zebra GX430T, is a thermal transfer direct etiquette drucker in German, but it's kind of a label printer in English. But Zebra is a known product when it comes to label printers. If you see these Zebra printers, please buy them, guys. If it is in good working condition, do not hesitate to pick them up, because there's going to be somebody that is going to take it from you, especially if it's good and it's gotten all the accessories. I'm talking about the power supply, the printing paper. If you have it, this one sold, for €249. And the beautiful thing is that the buyer did give me a positive review, and he said, "Thank you so much for the super fast." I'm translating now. "Thank you so much for the super fast shipping and the free roll of stickers." Stickers, this is Google Translate error. It's talking about the labels, because I did include a full label in this thing, because I just wanted to, I included the label, and I printed out, a label, and I left it in the box. I didn't tear it off, because I wanted the buyer to see that, look, I just printed out the shipping label for this packet, and this is it. So what I did was just to include the label, because printers can be very, very tricky. You never can tell how the buyer would have installed it. perhaps not installed properly, and then the printer is just acting up. Either the ink is not sharp enough, it's not dark enough. So what I did, I set it up, made sure I was able to print out the label I used for shipping the packet, and I also printed an additional label and left it there, so that when whoever would have opened the box would immediately see, from the printer, paper compartment, you already see a roller there. So this removes every question if this printer is working properly, or if there are some lines when it's printing, or if it's not sharp enough. So buyer did write me and said, thank you so much for the super fast shipping. It was shipped and the next day it was delivered. This is pretty fast from DHL. Sometimes it happens like this, but sometimes it could be a drama, guys. I received something that kind of blew my head, just a few days ago. It was shipped for more than 2 weeks ago, and this was just the first time I received it. And I also received an email from DHL that they were sorry because there were some, I don't know, unfavorable events that made the packet delayed, blah, blah, blah. Egal. That is what it is. Sometimes it happens like that. All right. Ordered yesterday, delivered today, respect was what the buyer wrote. That's a beautiful one. Whenever we get, positive reviews like this, it kind of encourages us. Yes, a HP Light Desk, 705 G5 small form factor PC also sold for 183 euros, 6 cents. This was a return buyer from me, and this is the third time this buyer is actually buying this PC. I still got a lot of this PC. No, I do not have exactly this, but I know I still have the Ryzen 3 Pro 3400G processor version of this PC. Yes, they are both the Elite Desk 705 G5. If you go to my website now, you go to my eBay shop, you can actually see this PC listed there. They are the same small form factor PC, but this Ryzen 3 Pro, there are actually two types. This PC actually came with two of these kind of processors, the 3200 and the 3400G. I still have that, and that is actually listed. Hopefully that says this was the power PC that sold. I did make a video of this, the Dell Optimus 5000 Micro. This was a test. Test was that I wanted to list an expensive PC finally on my shop to see who's going to come around and buy it. And somebody did come, dropped 704 euros on my account. I'm speaking figuratively now. The person went to eBay, bought it, debited his account 704 euros, and I was credited 704 euros. But in return, the buyer got a very, very decent PC, a Dell Optimus 5000 Micro PC in very good condition. Hopefully, the buyer is going to be super, super, super happy, when he receives this, this PC. Guys, if you are watching me, I want to encourage you to smash the like button. Send me your questions so that I can actually, answer them. And in the absence of nobody, asking questions, then I'm going to go ahead and complete the items that sold. I'm almost through. We just have one more item. So this PC 704 sold for 704 euros. Decent transaction, and the PC has since been shipped out today. Hopefully, the buyer is going to receive it tomorrow, and everything is going to go like it was planned. This PC is an excellent PC. See, I've never seen a Dell Micro PC perform this great. Super fast, has an Intel, i7 processor, 12th gen. And guys, this is a beautiful, PC. It's a beautiful PC. And whoever bought it, I really feel like this was a very good deal. Yes, it was expensive for me, selling just one PC for 704 euros. Actually a new area, and I really do feel like I want to keep searching out very good offers, placing it and playing the high value game. I see some people playing this game. I'm just going to take a look at this PC and see who else has this PC listed and for how much, this PC is being sold for. All right. Yes, I see people having the Core i5, which is a lesser strength processor, the Core i5 12th gen for 505 euros. So I'm not the only person actually playing this game, and this person also, I think he has sold one piece. Like I said, I'm not going to call them competitors. I know them from back in the days. We are all sellers here on this platform. And yes, people have this PC listed for different amounts: 451 euros, 636 euros, 430 euros. Yeah, the list goes on and on and on. Yes, so for mine to have sold for 700 and how much was it again? 704 euros. Man, I'm losing my voice, guys. Bear with me. The next time I'm going to go live, I need to have a glass of water here and maybe some juice, because I always need to, refill my voice somehow. It's not an easy thing it's not it's kind of a new area for me to talk nonstop. I've been talking now for 25 minutes and hopefully I'm going to stop soon before I will lose my voice. I really do need my voice. But if you are still there, watching me, I see that we have 2 people online on the live session. You can actually go ahead, drop me your comment, and I still can do justice to it. All right. The next PC was a HP Z230 workstation. This one was a pretty difficult PC to pack, not because I didn't have the right materials, but just because the workstations, the Z230 workstation is not a light workstation, it's a robust workstation. In comparison to the Z240, which is kind of a lighter workstation in terms of weight, this Z230 is very heavy and I had to battle with packing it. This is the second one that I sold. I actually had 2 of this PC back in the days and I never ever listed them. I do not know why. I sold the Z240. I sold about 16 pieces of that. And ever since the Z230 has just been there, I wanted to really, I don't know why I left it, to be honest, but just about 2 weeks ago when sales were kind of down, I felt like it was the best time for me to, list it for cheap. And I did listed it, I did list it for cheap and it sold and the first one was sent out. And this also sold on the 9th of September, 2025. Like I said, it sold for 167 euros and 28 cents. It has since been shipped out. Hopefully, the buyer is going to receive it tomorrow because it was shipped out yesterday. I'm just going to track it to see when the DHL says that this packet is going to be delivered. Yes, it's going to be delivered. You see, they said delivery today was unfortunately not possible. This is exactly what I have been experiencing now from DHL for some time. Yes, some shipment goes very fast, but some just keep writing this that delivery today was not possible. So they're going to try again to deliver it tomorrow. Hopefully, it's not a case of a packet that will be sent back to me because they are not able to deliver it. They do not, specify the reason why this wasn't possible, but I hope tomorrow DHL should be able to deliver this. I don't know if it's not because of I don't know, is it already happening with the Christmas rush? I still kind of feel like it's too early for that, but this happens sometimes. And when it happens like this, I don't know if, yes, hopefully we shouldn't get a negative rating from eBay on account of packet being delayed, but not on account of the seller not shipping the item on time, but the shipping company not doing their job or having some difficulties. We experienced this and hopefully I'm going to check on that to be sure that eBay doesn't actually, give me a negative point on that for item sent too late. All right, guys, this was how far we have gone. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be giving you guys. So today, I'm just going to try to save it on my head that, look, I have actually talked about the HP Z230. I'm losing my voice, guys. Bear with me. And the next time I'm going to come here, definitely I'm going to start from here, give you guys a rundown of what sold, what didn't sell. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, this will be a good time for you to be subscribed because I'm giving you live updates from a functional eBay shop that says, use computers, that says desktop PCs, monitors, laptops, accessories, and stuff like that. If it's an area that interests you, what you want to do is to go ahead and subscribe, smash the like button because it helps me to continue to make, quality content like this for you guys. And if you ever have any question, feel free to write me. I am going on the journey, which is to sell used computers, used PCs until I'm able to buy a house. You may want to be subscribed so that you can get, a behind the scene, live updates behind the scene of what happens, from a functional PC selling, a functional shop that sells used PCs on eBay. Of course, you do not need to only sell PCs. You may also be selling other stuff. definitely the experiences I'm going to be sharing here on this channel will definitely also help you in your business. We're going to be leaving it here today before I lose my voice, because I actually do need my voice for tomorrow. Definitely, I'm going to be going live, but this time around, I'm going to try to, inform you guys in the live in the comment section, in the community section on YouTube, so that before I go live, at least if you guys are interested, you all can be hooked up. All right, guys, we're going to be leaving it here until I see you again in the next one. Thanks again for those that stopped by, even though there was no comment from you guys. I see you guys, and I say respect to you guys. Until I see you again in the next one, peace.